Hi, I'm Corey. Welcome to Creating with Scraps. This is episode 27 of Flips, Flaps, and Folds, and I kind of debated before doing this one simply because I've seen this so often, but I've got it in my book, so I thought I would share it with you. It'll be a quick one. What we're basically making today is, it's another project that you can do with a square piece of paper, and you can do it with any size square that you've got. So it's great for scraps, or if you're wanting to use up some 12 by 12 paper, but you just be careful again, if you're going to use 12 by 12, that your finished project will actually fit in your book. And all it is it's a couple simple folds, and I put paper in, lined paper in the middle to use it as a writing spot, but you certainly don't have to. Some people don't. I like it as another way to have a folded book. And it's got a little tuck spot pocket in the front and in the back that you can put, another journaling card or something inside, or you can, if it's not plain, you can put lined paper in there to make it another journaling spot. So it gives you kind of a couple journaling options. You can tuck it in the book exactly like this, or you can do what I do because I've got a seam down the middle because I sew these in. Just tuck it over the edge of a page so you've got something for the front and the back. And these lend themselves really nicely to be decorated. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got, before I do that, real quickly, somebody asked the other day about the squares that we made with Gail. And somebody asked about this. So when we made this stacked pocket page, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I had added another pocket, and somebody asked me what I put on that other pocket. And this is just another paper clip idea. And I saw it on the internet a long time ago, or something similar, and I just adapted it to my own needs. The closure is just a little bit of a Velcro, and it's one of the scraps from our journal cover. Remember how we trimmed the journal cover around? Well, this is just one of those little scraps that I save, and it's a paper clip, just a simple paper clip on the back, and it's just another little mini booklet. And yes, I put lined paper in there so you can write on it because I write better on lined, but it's, just with scraps. And so that's what that is. And this is episode 26's pocket. It's completed-ish. I didn't put things inside the little pockets simply because my book is getting so chubby. But I will show you real quick. This is an old picture of my Breck. I need to update that, and I know it. With the cardstock cover on it, it's got the pocket here, all the little Tim Holtz pocket slots. It's got a pocket here on the top, and then it's got a pocket behind. I just put a journaling card behind it. And then it's got the side tuck. Let's see, I almost zoomed back out. Sorry. Oh, wrong way. There we go. The side tuck over here, the belly band tuck back here, and the pocket back here. So you have lots of real estate in one pocket. And I just used one of those clear, flat Velcro closures. They're super flat, the small one, to keep it closed. And the offcuts of the corners of the Gail pocket, which is on the next page, the ones that Gail showed us, the quad fold, or I think she called it quint, but this one where we fold it up like that. These are those two envelopes that I made, and what I did was I just stacked those two envelopes together, and I used the cluster that I made with the torn off piece, and I put all three pieces together just to make a couple more pockets. And there's just some folded over notebook paper in there rather than a journaling card. So you don't have, or a tag. You don't always have to put tags in. You certainly can, but you don't always have to. And because I'm on camera, it's not wanting to cooperate. Okay, there we go. And the back of this one is a tuck spot as well. So you can tuck a large item like a photo of Breck back there or something like that. So I wanted to show you what I had done with that. And then here is the Gail fold that I included. So this is here's the other scrap that I used. I just glued it to the top so that it would lift up, but it would also decorate the front. And again, this is the one that Gail did on her video, and I linked it in episode 26. It's got a tuck spot in the back, and it's lift up and fold down, and you've got all those writing spaces. I didn't put writing spaces on all of it. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit more. Okay, I just put a little envelope here so that I could put bits and pieces in this little envelope well, maybe I glued the envelope closed. That's entirely possible. No, I didn't. Okay, so you can put little bits and pieces in the envelope to put on your journaling, And then I just kind of fussy cut a little bit out and put a piece of journaling paper in here. I didn't want to cover up the rest of it simply because it was so pretty, and there's plenty of place to journal there. And again, I just use one of those real small, thin Velcro closures to hold it in place. I told you I was going to reattach this, and so I did. I moved it into this new signature. And this is what we're making today. And again, I know that a lot of people have made this, but I just wanted to show you because I included it in my book and I didn't want to, exclude you from being able to do it. It's got a flip up, and I lined this one with coffee dyed paper because the back of this paper was bright red. So I just lined it with some thin coffee dyed paper. And so you can do it a couple ways. You can tuck something inside of it. Well, maybe not Breck because it would bend her picture. You can tuck something inside and then fold it closed. Or you can use a large journaling card to put in here like this. And I even have a journaling card in the back. And then on the inside, I decorated the inside. This was literally just the scraps that were on my desk left over from another project. I just picked up all the pieces and glued them together to make an embellishment, and then just a plain old envelope on the back. And so it gives you kind of a lot of real estate, plenty of room to write, and plenty of room to create. So there you go. This is what we're going to do. All right. This was a scrap of this paper. It's a granite. It's a larger scrap. This one happens to be 8 by 8, maybe, something like that. Again, it can be 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. It just needs to be square. And what you do on the back side, or whatever will be the inside. Now, I'm sure there's more ways to do this. You can fold and such, but this is the easiest for me, and so that's what I do. I'll take a ruler, a straight edge, and I go corner to corner. And if I stick my big head in there, I apologize in advance. I just draw a line corner to corner. Now, I could use my heat-sensitive pen so that I could just blow heat on it when I'm done and it would go away. But I like with this one, it's polka dotty, so I would line it with paper so it wouldn't show. And then I'm going to go corner to corner. Again. All right. Then all you do is you take each of the corners and you line it up at the center point. You want to definitely touch the center point, but you don't really want to go, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit now. There you go. You don't really want to go over the center point. You want it to touch it without going over it, because that's going to give you your straight lines or your even pieces. And I do it top, bottom, side, side. You can do it however you like. I just find that I get a little bit better of a fold if I do it this way. Or my corners meet up better. I guess that's a better way to put it. My corners tend to meet up a little better. And so I hold them together so that they touch, and I fold. And yes, I would use a bone folder to push these down. Now, the beauty of this too is you can use any scrap. You can use cardstock, double-sided paper, coffee dyed paper. You can use anything you want with this. And then I'll match the bottom corners up. Okay, and then crease it. And then crease it again. While I'm folding this, somebody asked the other day why I call my dogs beasts. Well, I love dogs, and I love my dogs, but they bark because they're ferocious beasts, and so beasts is just a nickname or a shortened version of my ferocious beasts. That's said tongue-in-cheek, because I think dogs are pretty amazing. All right, so you've got it like this, and then you decide, I mean, if you had a pattern on here, that would obviously determine what you did, but then you just kind of fold it in half. Now, you could score it with a scoreboard, but you certainly don't have to. And I just flip it over because I want this to be my outside. I flip it over and I match up the corners. Am I even in frame? Okay. I match up the corners and I fold it flat. Okay, and that is all there is to making this particular piece. Now, my next step is I put the paper inside. You don't have to. You can leave it just like this. And you score everything and ink everything and what have you. And you've still got, space to write here. Like I said, erase it if you're not wanting to cover it. But I put a piece of plain paper in there so that I can write. And the same thing on the other side. You can tuck things inside there or outside there. But what I do, my next step is I take some salvaged lined ruled paper, and I put it inside. And then I will cut this to size. I'm not going to show you because you don't need to see me cut. I will cut this to size, and then I'll open it up. And I use these quilting clips. Let me zoom back out. Sorry. There we go. Zoom back out. Once I've got it cut to size, I use these flat quilting clips, and maybe they're not for quilting, but my mom uses them and she's a quilter, so they're quilting clips. And I hold them because they're fairly flat and they're fairly small and they hold really tight. I'll put these down and then I'll go in my sewing machine and I'll sew right down the middle. You can use a pamphlet stitch if you choose. You can just staple it and that would work fine too. It's easy to sew it with the sewing machine, and so that's what I do. Sew that down and then fold it over. Obviously I've cut it to size, and so that is how I make the pages inside my book. Like this, the lined pages. And then what I do, because I don't necessarily love the sewn edge right here along the spine, I will come in with my washi tape. So on this one, I'll come in with my washi tape, and I'll pick a washi tape that that matches or coordinates, or the color is okay. And like this one I love, but the prints go in the wrong way, so I wouldn't choose that one. But anyway, I just choose a washi tape, whichever one I choose. The red one's fine. And when I put the washi on, so remember, we're assuming that I've sewn this and I've got my stitches right down here, or my staples or my pamphlet stitch or what have you. What I do is I tape, I'll open the flaps up because I don't want to glue the flaps down. So I open the flaps up and I'll use my purple tape or my non-tacky tape. Apparently it comes in other colors now. I'll put my purple tape, excuse me, in place. And I'll hold my booklet here. And the reason I do that is, one, I'm sure my my page is straight. And then I'll come in with a little bit of glue, put the glue down the edge. And with the grid on my table, I'm careful. I'm able to make sure that my tape is on there straight. So I've got grids guiding me to make sure that it's not, just off a little bit. So I put it on halfway. And then I flip this up and I put a little bit more glue here and I roll it over and I push it down and I trim the ends. And that's just, it's again, not a required step, but it's what I do. And I like the, sorry, I'm turned away to put that drawer back. I like the end that it gives me, that finished end. And I'll show you here what I'm talking about. See, here you go. This is the one I had in my sample book. I've had this for a couple years, so I know it's been around a while. But I just like how it finishes the edge and kind of closes it off. Here's a couple different kinds of journal cards that you can use in them. You can pull them out this way, what have you. But it's simple and it's fun, and it's a great way to use up a square bit of paper. Okay, on that note, before I go, I was going to show you, two more of the Gale pieces. I've got... the leftover corners of this bit, I made just one into a little booklet. Super, super, super simple, and it fits, inside just about anywhere. You can tuck it into anything. I could put it in here if I wanted to, and in the back of this, or I could put it back in here. Oh, there you go. Maybe I'll even just do that. Okay, I just buried the other one. And I made it a mini, I just buried it. What did I do? Oh, here we go. The fold I just showed you, I made a mini one of those using one of the leftover Gale squares. Just a little tab for journaling to hold it in place. The little flap here. You can tuck something in there if you choose. And this is thick, so my hands aren't cooperating. There you go. It's folded up. And I've got the little papers inside. And the same thing on the back. You've got that little flip up. So those are two more projects if you've got some of the Gale corners left over. All right. Thank you for watching. Happy creating, and enjoy your scraps.